Hi, I'm Lucy from Sew Essential and I'm here today to share my latest make with you. So everything I talk about is available on our website. I'll pop a link to our website and all the products I mentioned below, and you'll also find a link to our weekly newsletter for a healthy dose of sewing inspiration straight to your inbox. So my latest make is the Belle dress by Style Arc Patterns, and this is the second time I've made this dress because I absolutely adore it. I love it so much. It's a fun dress to make. It's got some beautiful thoughtful design details. It's easy to fit. It's just an absolute joy, and it's a total joy to wear. So I made a summery version previously, and now I've made a wintry version. I'll show you how I'm styling it in a minute, but let's just talk through the sizing chart. So the sizes run from a 4 to a 30. Style Arc Patterns are really size inclusive. Most of them run up to a 30. I think there's 96 plus designs on our website, so I'll pop a link below for you for them. But the 4 is a 30.3 bust, 23.5 waist and a 32.6 hip, and the 30 is a 58.25 bust, 50.5 waist and a 61 hip. I made the size 8, which was a 34.3 bust, 27.5 waist and a 36.6 hip. I think I did add a little bit of width onto the fitted yoke panel on the front, just because my waist isn't 27.5 inches, it's more like 28 or 29. I'm not sure, I haven't measured it for a while, but I know it's in that region. However, one of the things I love the most about this dress is that it is very easy to fit, and you have got wriggle room in the waist fit, and that's because of the very clever design detail there. So I'll just show you the dress and then I'll talk to you about that in more detail. But as you can see, it's the bodice, it has got a V-neck and then there's a button down front. The bodice pieces have got underbust gathers, and the button band and the neckline at the front is formed by just sewing a strip of interfacing onto the edge of the fabric and then pressing the fabric under and top stitching it down. So there's no separate button band piece, which makes it really easy. You've got this fitted, lovely fitted waist yoke panel at the front, and then the clever design detail I was talking about is that it matches up with the shirred panel on the back. So for anyone who doesn't know what shearing is, it's when you sew parallel lines of elasticated thread into the fabric, and that makes it stretchy, and it also gives it this really pretty sort of very gathered almost look. You'll see it on lots of different garments, but with this I just think it's such a clever design detail because I've got all the advantages of a very fitted waist on this dress, so I feel nice and sort of drawn in the waist area, which balances out the skirt and the full sleeves nicely. But I'm not compromising on comfort. You know, it's super comfortable. It's like the most comfortable fitted waist you'll ever wear, which I just think is brilliant. Normally if you make something very fitted around the waist in a woven fabric, you know, you're going to feel a little bit restricted sometimes. It might be a little bit uncomfortable when you sit down, or you have to like make it a bit bigger, give yourself a bit more room, and then it's not as fitted. With this, you've got that lovely fit, but it's super comfortable as well. And the other thing is, it's very easy to get that fit right because you've got that give in that panel. So, you know, you haven't got to be absolutely spot on with the fit. So that is a great design feature of this pattern. The skirt's gathered at the front where it sandwiches in between the yoke, and then it's gathered at the back as well. The back is finished with a yoke and a lined yoke, so that's how the neckline is finished at the back, just by sewing the yoke and the bodice right sides together. There's some gathers under the yoke, and then the bottom of the bodice piece is just sewn to the shirred panel, and then that sort of gathers that up, and you've got that little sort of blouson effect at the back as well, which is another pretty feature. And then I think the skirt looks like it's gathered at the back as well because that's attached to that shirred panel. So I'm going to put a tutorial for shearing, sewing those elastic parallel lines below for you. I did a tutorial on that with lots of tips and tricks for you, so I'll pop that in the links below, so do check that out if you haven't done it before. But it's a really fun sewing technique as well, so it's just something nice and different to do. But yeah, the construction, the design details, the fit, all of that I think is wonderful on this pattern. Construction wise as well, it's really sort of clever and clean and neat the way it comes together. What I would say is that Style Arc patterns generally don't have super detailed instructions, so if you're a complete beginner, you know, you might find it a little bit tricky sometimes with the Style Arc patterns. There's not lots of diagrams, the written details aren't very there's not a lot of detail in them, but there is a sew along for this pattern online, and if you're somebody who's got, you know, if you're sort of like an intermediate sewer, if you're somebody who's made quite a few garments and you know roughly how garments come together, you've made different dresses and tops and stuff, you'll probably be okay. I think the only bit that's a bit of a head scratcher with it is that there's lots of sandwiching pieces between things. So with the bodice, for example, that is sandwiched between, at the front, it's sandwiched between the yoke and the yoke lining at the waist. So you sort of flip the yoke so that it's right sides together, and then you sandwich your skirt piece in between that, and then you stitch that down and turn it out. And it's the same up here with the shoulder yoke, that it's the same sort of thing there, and then you just top stitch everything down. But if you just walk through it, if you just pin things together and walk through it and think, right, okay, yeah, if I now turn that out, that would all be in the right place, that piece would be sandwiched between those pieces, it kind of makes sense. It's not really complicated at all, it's just that they don't give you the most detailed instructions. But if you just get the pieces, fit them together, sometimes I like to just pin things in place and then turn it through and go, oh yeah, that'll work, okay, now I can sew it. Yeah, then that's a little tip from me. But yeah, really delighted with this version of the dress. I've got it on with my block heel knee-high boots for a wintry look, and the fabric is an ex-designer deadstock that I sourced recently. So this is one of the ones that I checked with the supplier, it would be going to landfill if it wasn't going to be used, if I wasn't going to buy it, basically. Like, it's end of line, not going to be used again, so it's a ex-designer dead stock. And I just loved the dark background. I thought it was just beautiful for one of these sort of midi length dresses, and I just love that sort of bohemian print on it. It's got these really pretty colours, but it's quite sort of understated because of the dark background, and I just really loved that, and saw lots of this sort of thing when I was doing my research for the autumn winter trends this year. Saw lots of these sorts of dark floral moody prints. It's not a floral, it's like an abstract print, but yeah, along that theme. And then to style it, I've got the knee-high boots on, and then I just put my trusty biker jacket over the top, and I've got this lovely sort of aubergine coloured bag that I like to wear during the winter as well, and that kind of just tones nicely with the pinks and things in the fabric. And yeah, I just really love this outfit. I think I might be wearing this to a graduation event that I've got upcoming in January for a course that I did this year. But yeah, I just absolutely love this dress, can't recommend it highly enough, so do check out the links below. Also, I just thought I'd show you, it's really versatile because I also made this super summery version. So if you're a regular viewer of our channel, you'll have seen when I shared this. I'll pop a link below for you for the full review of this one, because I probably talked about different details and things in that maybe. But yeah, I just made it in this lovely viscose chalet fabric, which is just that gorgeous blue colour, just felt really summery. And I wore it with block heel sandals or flat sandals if I wanted it to be more casual and day dress, and then a straw bag. And yeah, it's one of those dresses that I made, and I think when I first made it I was a bit like, oh, I'm not 100% sure. And then I wore it out to go for lunch with my mum, and I just felt brilliant in it. It was just one of those dresses that I felt really special, but I felt comfortable. Like I said, that's one of the things that I love about the design of this dress so much. It's like, It feels dressed up, it feels fitted, but it's still super comfortable. So yeah, I think I've sort of waxed lyrical enough about it now. I hope you like it too. Check out all the links below. I'll put any relevant tutorials below. And if you like what you see today, please like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.